The Samsung Galaxy Note 7 is officially unveiled, more 360 cameras are now available, and will we have a depth sensing horn on the HTC Vive soon? That's what I like. Hello again guys, welcome back to this weekly series that I do where I talk about all the things that are science, tech, fun, VR, drones, whatever else I want to that I find in the news that I like. Before I do get started, let me go ahead and just mention this t-shirt that I'm wearing, the super awesome Star Trek t-shirt, sent out to me by mixtees.com. They are not sponsoring this in any way other than just providing me with a few shirts, which is awesome. I've mentioned their shirts before, I've been wearing them on and off for several weeks now, loving these shirts, so make sure to go check out their site and show them some support. But on to the news. Now, I do hate to start things on a bit of a low note, but if you are an owner of the Basis Peak smartwatch, the watch that I'm holding in my hand, get rid of it. And by get rid of it, I mean get in touch with Basis Peak. They're actually doing a full recall on this device. I actually have to find the packaging and send mine in as well. They're doing the recall because there was an issue with overheating. I never actually noticed it when I was wearing the Basis Peak. I haven't been wearing it for a little while now since I did the review. But yeah, they're doing a full recall on the device because there have been burns and blisters due to the device getting too hot. They tried to fix it with a software update and it did not fix the problem. So if you do have the Basis Peak, make sure to get in touch with them. Support.mybasis.com. You can head over there and actually fill out a form and everything. They'll send you a prepaid label you should be able to send it back with. So that actually really sucks. Moving on to better news. It looks like Microsoft may be rolling out a Microsoft Band 3 sometime in the near future because the Microsoft Band 2 has had a price cut. It was $250 up until recently, and now it's at $99 almost anywhere you can find it. Amazon, Best Buy. My wife checked out the first Microsoft Band and kind of hated it, and so we ended up returning it. I was super tempted to pick up the Band 2 when it first came out, but I couldn't justify the price. Now that there might be a third generation of it coming, I don't know if I'll look at that one or not, but still, if you've been in the market for something like this, a smartwatch that's reasonably priced, that appears to have a lot of features to it, you might want to check it out. And as I mentioned in the intro there, the Galaxy Note 7 was finally announced. Everybody has apparently known about it for months now, but I've seen several videos going out about it over on MKBHD's channel and The Verge and wherever else. Loads of good early impressions so far. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's not going to be a device that's for me. It's basically the Galaxy S7 Edge, but with all the Note features and a slightly changed UI. And the S7 Edge was just not a device that I cared for. I love the S7 myself. However, if you are interested in it, it looks like it's going to be available August 19th. And to go along with that, on the 19th of August, Samsung is actually going to make the Gear 360 available for sale here in the US for $350. I've seen quite a bit of video coming out of this thing. Casey Neistat has done a lot of stuff with it and a bunch of other creators. For the price point, it's probably one of the better 360 cameras you can get. I've still got to learn how to edit footage in 360 though. I don't have the software to do it myself. I need to pick it up, I guess. So anyway, if you're interested in picking one of those up, August 19th it'll be available. LG officially unveiled they're going to be releasing the V20, an update to last year's V10, sometime in September. Some of the articles I've read said potentially on September 6th, and some specs have apparently leaked out from this article I'll be showing you here. It says it's going to have the Snapdragon 820 in it, as well as a 5.5-inch Full HD display, maybe even two different versions of it, one with 3 gigs of RAM, one with 4 gigs of RAM, one with 32 gigs of storage, one with 64 gigs of storage, 20 megapixel camera and an 8 megapixel on the front, and it might even have a 4000 milliamp hour battery. From last year, looking at the V10, that was a really well received device. Very well built, excellent feature set, and compared to the G5 that came out this year, this one might be the one to hit the sweet spot for a lot of people. So in another month or so, be on the lookout. We might have a really interesting device from LG coming. There were a few updates that came out from Amazon this week. First up, they've added some new developer tools to allow Alexa to interact with gaming. According to the article over on CNET, it says the gaming tools are a newest addition to the Alexa Skills Kit, and there's already some games that have come out that have been able to interact with it at this point. Just taking a look at the Alexa Skills Store, there are things like State Borders Trivia, World Language Trivia, Portland, Oregon Trivia, Bigfoot Facts, Gary Johnson Facts, flashcards, things like that. What I would see being really interesting in something like this is something like the MUDs of yesteryear, where basically you're sitting in a text console and you tell it go north, go west, where Alexa would have the whole game programmed into it as a skill, and you tell it where you want to go inside of this dungeon that you're in or this house that you're walking through, and it tells you what you see whenever you go to those places. That's the kind of game I could see this being really fun for, although again, you're still having to interact with a device in your kitchen or your bedroom or wherever you happen to have Alexa. I guess you could use the tap. Anyway, look for more interesting stuff to come in terms of the Alexa stuff. Amazon also apparently got a patent for a pair of noise-canceling headphones that will let you hear when someone says your name. Just a patent, there's nothing available for sale or anything obviously yet, but I could definitely see something like this as being really, really useful for someone like myself especially. Be able to wear a pair of noise-canceling headphones and block out the world around you until my wife comes walking around the corner saying Jordan, or if my son comes in yelling daddy. I guess it would sort of depend on what you'd be able to program into it as keywords. If you could program in a certain set of keywords instead of just one, that would be really handy. Either way, really cool patent that they've been granted. Hopefully they put it to use for something handy. Now moving on to some VR type stuff. As I mentioned in the intro again, a scientist from Intel has unveiled an add-on for the HTC Vive. I seem to remember mentioning last week HTC had opened up things so that developers could interact more with it, and Intel scientist Dmitry, I can't say his last name, had a sneak peek of a depth sensing camera you can put onto the Vive, a little horn that sticks out the front of it. Engadget seems to think it's going to be based on Intel's RealSense technology, which has been touted as being pretty amazing in the past. You can use it to keep track of your hands, keep you from bumping into walls and whatnot. The Vive already does pretty well with that if you've got the lighthouses up in good position, but to have one extra thing to keep you from running into things and people would be really handy. Still very early on, still not something you can expect to buy next week or anything, but they say that there may be more info coming out about it on August 16th to the 18th at Intel's developer forum, so be on the lookout for more information. I'll put out more as I find more. Microsoft has also released some updates about the HoloLens this week. Now anyone can buy the HoloLens provided you meet 3 conditions. You have to have a Microsoft account, an address in the US or Canada, and you have to be able to afford the $3,000 price tag of it. It's still $3,000, and you can buy up to 5 of them if you have a Microsoft account and you live in the US or Canada. I still cannot justify that price tag, but now you don't necessarily have to be just a developer specifically developing for augmented reality stuff. You might be able to just be a person and buy it, which is nice. Now when they release it and they put it down at less than $1,000, we'll talk. The HoloLens also received the Windows 10 anniversary update this week. I know next to nothing about the Windows 10 anniversary update. I haven't actually been using Windows 10 lately. I've actually been using my MacBook Pro for most everything lately because it gets the job done for me. But yeah, if you do have a Windows 10 or if you have the HoloLens, be on the lookout for the Windows 10 anniversary update. I've probably got to check my Windows 10 desktop and see if it's gotten that update yet or not. And apparently I've been going around in circles. There's some more VR stuff we'll go ahead and wrap things up with. The 360 Fly 4K camera is now available for purchase. It's going to be $499.99. It has 64 gigs of built-in storage, telemetry sensors, an e-compass, and it pairs up using a phone, and you can control it all using the app. It's also shockproof, dustproof, and water-resistant, although I wouldn't assume you'd be able to drop it in a bucket of water or anything, but it may be able to survive a little bit of rain. I'd be really curious to see how it would stack up next to the Gear 360. If I had to guess, it's probably a slightly better quality, but it's also significantly more expensive. So at least it's not $60,000. And if you've been waiting for it, be on the lookout. I think they actually also have software for the 360 Fly to edit the video, which is a big step forward. So yeah, let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in. Also, Yuneec unveiled a set of goggles, SkyView drone goggles. They're $250. They've got a 5-inch 16:9 720p display and connect over HDMI. But since it connects over HDMI, like you would connect it to your phone or something and watch what's going on with your drone, it's HDMI. You could also use it to watch videos and stuff. So the article over on Engadget is talking about how this can actually sort of double as a home theater setup. Given the price point and that it seems to be a completely immersive experience, that might be a really interesting option in terms of consuming media at home, and a lot cheaper than some other options that are out there. So I guess if that's something you've been looking for, an inexpensive pair of FPV goggles or something you can wear at home to consume some media without having the outside distractions, check out their site for more details. And to wrap things up, according to an article over on CNET, DJI is opening a drone arena in South Korea. It's going to be 1,395 square meters. It's going to have an LED lit racing circuit, maintenance workstation, safety nets, and a screen to give you a first-person view of the drones. Very cool, looks very futuristic. Obviously not something I'm ever going to get a chance to visit because when am I going to be in South Korea? But still, if you are, it says Yongin, South Korea. So if you're in that area, go have some fun. And that's actually where things are going to wrap up from me for today. Again, remember, check out mixtees.com. This shirt, absolutely awesome. They've got so many different things, not just Star Trek shirts, but things like Suicide Squad, and there's a Mad Max shirt on there that I think is amazing. I would love to check out. And again, not a sponsor or anything. They just sent out t-shirts because they're awesome. And thanks to you guys for watching. Remember to leave a thumbs up down below if you like this video, and subscribe to receive more when they become available, and I will see you again next time.